Very good morning, students. Already we started a revision of kinematics. In the last class, we have seen the definitions of distance, displacement, velocity, average velocity, acceleration, uniform accelerated motion, uniform motion, and we have seen some of the formulas related to them. And today we will continue our discussion on kinematics with the concept of vertical projection and horizontal projection and oblique projection. First of all, let me say vertical projection. If suppose one object is thrown upwards like this with some initial velocity u, if it is making an angle theta is equal to 90 degrees, such projection is called vertical projection. Horizontal projection. If an object is projected from the top of a tower with some initial velocity u such that it is moving parallel to the ground, that means here the angle theta is 0. Such projection is called horizontal projection. The third one is oblique projection. Oblique projection. Here the angle of projection is either not equal to 0, neither equal to 0 nor equal to 90. That means if an object is projected like this with certain velocity u, this is the object which is projected with velocity v at an angle theta. Theta should not be equal to 0. Theta should not be equal to 90 degrees. Such projection is called oblique projection. Whatever is the nature of projection, the path followed by the particle during that motion is called trajectory. So the trajectory of a projectile is a parabola. In this case, even in this case. Here it may go upwards and it may come down like this. It may fall at the same location. In case of vertical projection, the things what you should remember is, as the body is moving against gravity, its velocity is going to decrease gradually. So its acceleration always should be taken as minus g. While it is coming down, its acceleration should be taken as plus g. This is the basic idea you should take here. Here it is moving downwards, a should be taken as plus g. It is under accelerated motion. Here a should be taken as minus g till this extent. From here to here, always g is downwards. Always g is downwards, a should be taken as g. Okay. So depending on the situation, different formulae we can derive. Already we revised this concept yesterday. What is the expression for maximum height reached? U square by 2g. What is the time taken by the body to reach the maximum height? Time of ascent u by g. During its return journey, at the highest point, its velocity becomes 0. So time of descent is root 2h by g. Again you can prove it, root 2h by g is u by g, because by substituting this h maximum value here, you will get the same result. So time of flight is 2u by g. Time of flight is 2u by g. And these are the basic ideas you should remember. The velocity before it is reaching ground, v is equal to root 2gh. Try to remember these ideas in case of vertical projection. In case of horizontal projection and oblique projection, we should have some range. The maximum horizontal displacement of the particle during its motion is called range. This is called maximum height. maximum height, and the path is a projectile. It is in the form of y is equal to ax minus bx square. The general formula is y is equal to tan theta x minus g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. And here if you derive formula for maximum height is given by u square sin square theta by 2g, and if you derive formula for range, u square sin 2 theta by g, and if you derive formula for time of ascent, that is u sin theta by g, and time of flight 2u sin theta by g. Always g is having direction in the downward direction. So like that we derived various formulae. Just go through the discussion of oblique projectile and try to remember these formulae for solving problems. Even in case of horizontal projectile, this distance is called range. So range is nothing but horizontal displacement. Whenever you want to find a displacement in x direction, velocity in x direction into time taken you should take. Once the ball reaches to the ground, this time is called time of flight, and ux is nothing but u only. U into time of flight you can derive it as 2h by g, where h is the height of the tower from which the ball is thrown. So that horizontal displacement is called range. That is the expression for range. And here the time of flight is given by root 2h by g. So try to recollect all the information related to vertical projectile, horizontal projectile and oblique projectile. And one more case, if we project an object from the top of a tower, it may go up and it will fall down. It may go up and it will fall down. In this case, A should be taken as minus g because it is moving against the gravity, and its displacement should be taken as minus h, where h is the height of the tower. From the point of projection it is going down. So as you thrown it up, it got displacement in the downward direction, as displacement should be taken as minus h. And by taking them into consideration, if we substitute them in s is equal to ut plus half at square, on simplification you will get the time of flight is u plus r minus square root of 2gh by, here minus we won't consider, u square plus 2gh by g, u plus root of u square plus 2gh by g. This is the time taken by the body to reach the ground. So just go through these ideas to solve various problems related to kinematics, projectile motion. So what is the nature of the path, what is the maximum height reached, what is the range, what procedure you should adopt. Every time you should take that velocity vector into two components, u cos theta horizontal component and u sin theta vertical component. Here vertical component is affected by the gravity, horizontal component never gets affected. Here always we take the resistance provided by the air resistance as 0, air resistance as 0. So always horizontal component is constant, hence the motion of the projectile in horizontal direction is uniform motion, the motion of the projectile in vertical motion is uniform accelerated motion. So these ideas you should take into consideration before solving problems based on kinematics. I hope I made you to understand the basic ideas of kinematics. Go through these concepts in detail and try to recollect your earlier knowledge to solve the problems. Now let me move on to the applications part. In kinematics we have certain questions based on graphical approach. Generally, we do graphs or we take displacement on x-axis, displacement on y-axis, time on x-axis. So this is called distance time graph, ST graph. Similarly, we may draw a graph between velocity and time by taking velocity on y-axis and time on x-axis. Similarly, we may draw a graph related to acceleration and time. Here, the displacement time graph may find different shapes. If it is finding a shape like this, then the body position is not changing with respect to time. Then body is said to be in the state of rest. If the displacement of the body is gradually changing with respect to time, then the body is said to be in uniform motion. Uniform motion. Why? I will tell you. The slope of the straight line you can identify by taking or by establishing small triangle here. It's a part of displacement axis, it's a part of time axis. So tan theta is equal to displacement by time. So tan theta is nothing but slope of the straight line. The slope will give change in position by time interval. Change in position by time interval is called velocity. So this is called velocity of the body. As the velocity is fixed on a straight line, the body is said to be in uniform motion. If it is not a straight line, then the body is said to be in non-uniform motion. Then the body is said to be in non-uniform motion. If the slope is not constant, then we can say like that. So always you remember that slope of displacement time graph will give velocity. Similarly, if you go to velocity time graph, if it is a straight line, body is said to be having constant velocity. That means it is executing uniform motion. If we draw the velocity time graph as a straight line, then its slope delta v by delta t is constant over this straight line. So here slope delta v by delta t represents acceleration of the body. As the acceleration is constant over this straight line, body is said to be in uniform accelerated motion. Body is said to be in uniform accelerated motion. Similarly, if we find area under velocity time graph, if we find the area under this velocity time graph, length into breadth means velocity into time. So area gives velocity into time, nothing but displacement. So area under the graph gives, that means area beneath this velocity time graph about to the time axis. This area indicates displacement of the body during the time interval. Area indicates displacement. Slope indicates acceleration. Whereas if you see acceleration time graph, if it is a straight line, body is said to be in uniform accelerated motion. Body is said to possess uniform acceleration during the motion. And if it is a straight line like this, here area under this graph, area is nothing but acceleration into time interval. Acceleration into time interval. Acceleration into time interval means acceleration general formula is dv by dt into time interval dt. So change in velocity is provided by area under the graph. So by knowing the nature of the graph and by finding the area under the graph or by finding the slope of the graph, you will get various parameters like velocity, displacement and change in velocity, etc., etc. And one more point, if it is a curve, at a particular point if you find the slope of the tangent drawn to the curve, that indicates the instantaneous velocity of the particle at that moment. Slope at a particular instant of time over a curve, nothing but tangent drawn to the curve at a particular point can have a slope equal to instantaneous velocity of the particle at that moment. So you should prepare the basic idea of graphs to solve various problems. And one more important point, whenever you want velocity, instantaneous velocity, you should take the derivative for displacement. Whenever you want acceleration, you should take derivative for velocity. And in reverse, if you speak, if you bring this dt this side, ds is equal to v dt, integral ds is equal to integral v dt, s is equal to integral v dt. So by integrating velocity, you will get displacement. Similarly, whenever you want velocity, you should integrate a dt, acceleration with respect to time. If you do integration, you will get velocity. So whenever they gave velocity as a function of time or displacement as a function of time, the related parameters can be identified either by differentiation method or by integration method. But all the derivatives will give instantaneous results. That point you should take into consideration. So either you will have direct formula based problems in kinematics or graph related problems in kinematics, and sometimes some calculation oriented problems in kinematics. So before solving the applications, having this knowledge is very much essential. Without the basic knowledge about the graphs, about the integration and differentiation, we may not get accurate answers for the given question. Let us see some applications based on these ideas. Let us see one application. The question, it is like this. An object is moving with a speed. An object is moving with a speed 6.25 meters per second. He is decelerated. He is decelerated at a rate dv by dt is equal to minus 2.5 root v, where v is instantaneous speed. The time taken by the object to come to rest This is the question. They gave certain options like 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 8 seconds, 1 second. Question is simple. Let me solve this question. You are given the initial speed V initial, you may call it as U, 6.25 meters per second. Now it is decelerated at a rate, so its acceleration is given by dv by dt, which is minus 2.5 root v. Acceleration is a function of velocity. Acceleration is a function of velocity. Now, the time taken by the object to come to the state of rest. So if clearly acceleration can be written as dv by dt is equal to minus 2.5 root v. V containing terms let me bring on one side, the dt terms I can bring it other side. So dv by root v is equal to minus 2.5 dt. So in order to remove the derivative, we should do integration on both sides. Keep integral on both sides. Time varies from 0 to t. Velocity varies from initial velocity u to final velocity 0. This is the general way of taking limits. Now I need to do this integration. It is in the form of integration u to 0 v power minus half dv is equal to minus 2.5 integration 0 to t dt. Okay. So for simplification, v power minus half plus 1 by minus half plus 1, limits are from u to 0, minus 2.5 integration dt is dt 0 to t. So it is plus half will go up, so it becomes 2 v power half, that is root v. Limits are from u to 0, minus 2.5 t minus 0. Whenever I substitute 0 here, it becomes 0 minus 2 root u is equal to minus 2.5 t. So minus minus gets cancelled. So t is equal to 2 root u. In the place of u, I should write 6.25 divided by 2.5. And if you do the root for this, you will get 2.5 by 2.5. 25 25s are 625. This and this gets cancelled. Answer is 2 seconds. Answer is 2 seconds. So this is the solution for the given problem. The solution is quite simple. You are provided with a retardation or negative acceleration, and you are asked to find the time taken by the body to come to the state of rest. If it want to come to the state of rest, the final velocity should become 0. Initially it is having 6.25, final velocity should become 0. Initial velocity is observed at time t is equal to 0 seconds, and we require this time when the velocity is going to get 0 value. So on simplification, you got the required answer. I hope everybody understood the solution. Such a simple question will be asked based on the knowledge of kinematics. I am going to discuss one more problem. It is a simple problem. The question says, for a particle in uniform circular motion, the acceleration a bar at a point p r comma theta on the circle of radius r is here theta is measured from x-axis. They gave 4 options. A is equal to minus v square by r cos theta I cap plus v square by r sin theta j cap. Option B, minus v square by r sin theta I cap plus v square by r cos theta j cap. Option C, minus v square by r cos theta I cap minus v square by r sin theta j cap. Option D, v square by r I cap v square by r j cap. This is the question given to us. Solution is simple. Particle is in uniform circular motion. Acceleration at a point p r comma theta on the circle of radius r. Here, suppose the particle is moving on this circle of radius r and this is at a position r comma theta. R comma theta. The particle is at this position p r comma theta. The acceleration at this point we need to find. We need to find the acceleration of the particle. Generally, velocity of the particle will be like this, tangential to the motion of the particle on the circular path. You are required to find acceleration. First of all, let me take the position vector of the particle. In order to say the position vector, I should take this as origin, this as x-axis, and this as y-axis. Position vector of the particle r bar is given by rx I cap, ry j cap. The x component of this is r cos theta. Y component of this is r sin theta. So you can write r bar can be written as r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap. This is the position vector of the particle. Now I need to find acceleration. Before to that, let me find velocity. Velocity vector is nothing but rate of change in position vector. So nothing but d by dt of r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap. Radius is always fixed. For cos theta, derivative is minus sin theta. For theta, derivative is d theta by dt I cap. Again for sin theta, the derivative is cos theta, d theta by dt j cap. R is common for both the terms. And you know that rate of angular displacement is angular velocity. So wherever omega d theta is by dt is there, it should be replaced with omega. So omega is common in both the terms. So r omega minus sin theta I cap plus cos theta j cap. Now I need acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but dv by dt. Nothing but d by dt of r omega minus sin theta I cap plus cos theta j cap. So r is fixed, omega is fixed. For sin theta, the derivative is cos theta. So cos theta again d theta by dt I cap. For cos theta minus sin theta d theta by dt j cap. So d theta by dt is nothing but omega. Again it is common. Minus is also common. So minus r omega square cos theta I cap plus sin theta j cap. For my convenience, I will write V is equal to R omega relationship here. So omega can be replaced with V by R. So whenever omega is there, it will be replaced with V by R. So V square by R square, one R will go. So minus V square by R cos theta I cap minus V square by R sin theta j cap. So the acceleration of the particle is given by minus V square by R cos theta I cap minus V square by R sin theta j cap. So this is the required answer. I hope everybody understood this. From this problem we understood the concept of position vector, resolution of a vector in 2 dimension. Later from position vector how to find velocity vector, from velocity vector how to find acceleration vector. Everything you have seen in this problem. So this model is important for solving various problems. So try to revise this model and try to solve some more problems based on this model. Let us discuss one more problem. This problem, it was asked in 2010 in JEE. A small particle of mass m is projected at an angle theta with the x-axis. With initial velocity v naught. In xy plane as shown in figure. At a time t which is less than v naught sin theta by g, the angular momentum of the particle is so this is the question. They gave some options. I am not writing the options. Directly I am going to the solution part. First let me draw the figure representing the motion of the particle. We are asked to find angular momentum. In rotatory motion you might have seen the concept of angular momentum. It is projected with velocity v naught. So definitely it will follow parabolic path. Angle of projection is theta, like this. So we have to go with the figure. So angular momentum L bar m into r bar cross v bar. M into r bar cross v bar will give the angular momentum. So we require the position vector as well as velocity vector. At a particular time t less than v naught sine theta by g. U sine theta by g is the time of ascent. So less than, that means particle is somewhere here. At this moment we need the velocity vector, let it be v, and position vector also. So you know that during projectile motion the displacement along x-axis is here v naught cos theta, here v naught sin theta. So v naught cos theta into t. In x direction no air resistance is available, hence the motion is uniform motion. Similarly, displacement in y direction is given by v naught sin theta into t minus half gt square. This will be the displacement vector along x-axis as well as y-axis. Hence its position vector at any time r bar is given by sx I cap plus sy j cap. Let me take this as x-axis, this as origin, this as y-axis, and unit vector in this direction is j cap, unit vector in this direction is I cap. So that is the position vector of the particle. Now you want velocity vector over there. So velocity vector at this point means it will have again two components, x component as well as y component. You know that v is equal to u plus at will be the equation of motion in vertical direction. So vx is nothing but v naught cos theta, velocity is not going to change in x direction. Vy is nothing but v naught sin theta u plus ayt. Ay is nothing but minus g t. So velocity vector v bar is nothing but vx I cap plus vy j cap. As the particle is on this side, x component is and y component both are positive. We need not to take minus sign over there. As the body is moving against gravity, acceleration only we should take minus. So as per this, angular momentum can be calculated by taking m into r bar in the sense p cos theta or v naught cos theta into t I cap plus v naught sin theta minus half g. Oh, let me write here. I will start from here. M into r bar in the sense v naught cos theta t I cap plus v naught sin theta t minus half gt square j cap cross v bar is v naught cos theta I cap plus v naught sin theta minus gt j cap. This cross product I should take. So L bar is equal to m into cross product means I j k v naught cos theta t v naught sin theta t minus half gt square, k component is 0. So this is j component, that is k component. Similarly, V naught cos theta, V naught sin theta minus GT, 0. If you expand this, L bar is given by M into. So first of all, if I close these two, 0 minus 0, 0, no I component will be available. If you take J, that also 0, 0. Only you are left with K. So while we take the first row and third column into consideration, so you will get V naught cos theta into T into V naught sin theta minus GT minus V naught sin theta into T minus half GT square into V naught cos theta whole K cap. So on simplification, L bar is equal to M into, if you multiply these two, V naught square sin theta cos theta into T minus V naught cos theta G T square minus V naught square T sin theta cos theta plus half GT square V naught cos theta K cap. If you further simplify this, let me write here. L bar is equal to M into, this is V naught square sin theta cos theta into T. Here minus V naught square sin theta cos theta into T. These two terms gets cancelled, and here you will get half GT square V naught cos theta. Here you will get minus GT square V naught cos theta into K cap. So both the terms are identical. So half minus 1 is minus half. So minus half M GT square V naught cos theta K cap will be the angular momentum of the particle at the given time. So this problem is quite simple, but you should have a simple knowledge about identification of cross product, resolution of vector, motion of projectile in x direction and y direction. Also, you should have the knowledge of angular momentum equation. Angular momentum equation is given by MVR, M into R bar cross V bar. I tried myself to find out R bar and V bar in horizontal direction uniform motion, in vertical direction uniform accelerated motion. So by substituting them, I got the result like this. I hope everybody understood what I discussed here. Thank you. One more question let us discuss now. The question says, a particle is moving with a velocity V bar is equal to K into yi cap plus xj cap, where k is constant. The general equation of the path is four options they gave. First one is y is equal to x square plus constant. Second one, y square is equal to x plus constant. Third option, y square is equal to x square plus constant. Option D, xy is equal to constant. So these are the four options for the given question. We need to solve the problem. Solution is simple. Given that velocity of the particle is k into yi cap plus xj cap. This is the thing given to us. Generally, velocity vector can have two components, vxi cap, vyj cap. If you compare this, vx is equal to ky, vy is equal to kx. Vx means velocity in x direction, nothing but derivative of x with respect to t is equal to ky. Similarly, velocity in y direction means derivative of y with respect to t, that is equal to kx. We need the general equation, so you can solve with either this equation or that equation, no problem, anything you can take. So dx is equal to ky dt. In order to remove the derivative on both sides, we should do integration here. They gave k as constant, so we should write like this. So integral dx is simply x so you need to simplify this integral. As the four options are not having k, let me take the ratio of these two. Dx by dt by dy by dt, that is equal to ky by kx. Kk gets cancelled. So dt gets cancelled, which implies dx by dy is equal to y by x. That implies x dx is equal to y dy. So integrate on both sides. X square by 2 is equal to y square by 2 plus constant. If you take 2 or multiply with 2 on both sides, x square is equal to y square plus constant. X square is equal to y square plus constant. You can keep that constant on either side, or y square is equal to x square plus constant. Anything you can take. Y square is equal to x square plus constant. That is the solution for the given problem. Very simple solution for the given question. One more question. JEE 2013 question it is. A projectile is given an initial velocity of I cap plus 2j cap meters per second. The equation of trajectory is you may take g is equal to 10 meters per second square. They gave for options like this. First option, y is equal to x minus 5x square. Second option, y is equal to 2x minus 5x square. Third option, 4y is equal to 2x minus 5x square. Fourth option, 4y is equal to 2x minus 25x square. So options are given like that. You are asked to find the equation of trajectory. Generally, the equation of trajectory means y is equal to ax minus bx square. This is the general form. So y is equal to tan theta x minus g by 2u square cos square theta into x square. This is the general idea. Now here in this problem, you are provided with initial velocity of projection u is equal to I cap plus 2j cap. Okay. If you want angle of projection, that is nothing but the direction of vector tan inverse y component by x component. So the direction of this vector is tan inverse 2 by 1, or simply say tan theta is equal to 2, which is nothing but the value of a. It's very simple. We need b value. B value is given by g by 2u square cos square theta. That means we require the knowledge of cos theta first. So tan theta is equal to 2. If suppose this is theta, tan theta means opposite side by adjacent side. This is nothing but 5. 2 square plus hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. Hypotenuse is equal to square root 5. So cos theta is given by 1 by root 5, adjacent side by hypotenuse. By substituting g value as 10 here, 2 into u square, u value magnitude we want, this is vector, mod u bar is equal to square root of 1 square plus 2 square, that is root 5 whole square, cos square theta, so that is 1 by root 5 whole square. So 10 by 2 into 5 into 1 by 5. This will go for 5 times. So 5 is the answer here. B value is 5. Then finally y value is given by 2x minus 5x square. Y value is given by 2x minus 5x square. Very simple solution for the given question. We should have the knowledge of equation of trajectory, and also we should know the direction of a vector is given by tan theta is equal to y component by x component. By simplifying those given data, you will get the required result. This is very, very simple. You just go through the problem. One more question. JEE 2014. from a tower of height h a particle is thrown vertically upwards with a speed u. The time taken by the particle to hit the ground is n times that taken by it to reach the highest point of its path. The relation between capital H comma u and n is the question. They gave options like this: 2gh is equal to n square u square. Second option, gh is equal to n minus 2 whole square u square. Option C, 2gh is equal to nu square into n minus 2. Option D, gh is equal to n minus 2 into u square. So these are the various options given for this question. Let us see how to solve this. Already we discussed vertical projection from the top of a tower. What are the conditions to be taken into consideration? So here there is a tower of height h. A particle is thrown vertically upwards with a speed u. The time taken by the particle to hit the ground, it will hit the ground after time t. N times the time taken by it to reach the highest point. From here to here, take suppose t1 time. So this time t is n times of the time taken by it to reach the highest point of its path. Then what is the relationship between capital H, u and n? This is the question. Already we derived the expression for t. So t is given by u plus square root of u square plus 2gh by g, by taking acceleration as minus g and displacement as minus h, and by substituting them in s is equal to ut plus half at square. On simplification we calculated this time. Also we calculated for a vertically projected body the time taken to reach the maximum height is u by g. So by substituting these two in this equation, u plus square root of u square plus 2gh by g, that should be equal to n times of u by g. G gets cancelled. You take this u that side, root over u square plus 2gh, that is equal to nu minus u, that is u into n minus 1 is equal to root over u square plus 2gh. Squaring on both sides, u square plus 2gh is equal to u square into n minus 1 whole square. If you want to further simplify this, 2gh is equal to u square, you can take common, n minus 1 whole square minus 1, that is u square into n square plus 1 minus 2n minus 1, plus 1 minus 1 gets cancelled. So u square n into n minus 2 is equal to 2gh. So this option is the right option for the given question. Very simple solution it is. By knowing the basic idea for time of ascent for a vertically projected body, time of flight for a vertical projected body from top of a tower, by knowing these two expressions, only mathematical simplification leads to get the required result. Very simple solution it is. I hope everybody understood the applications what I discussed so far. Try to implement those applications for solving various problems given in previous competitive questions. Thank you.